In this video, we're going to take a quick look at our ActionScript preferences, and the reason for that is, notice if I type in something here, the default font here is a little bit hard to read, especially for you guys watching this video. It might be a little bit more difficult to read. And in my opinion, this font just isn't all that pretty, so I want to change the font. But we also want to look at a couple of the preferences. So we'll go to Edit, Preferences, and in the preferences, notice there's an option under Category for ActionScript. These are the preferences we want to look at. Notice first of all we have an option for automatic indentation, and we can set the tab size. The tab size is basically how many characters the cursor is going to move when you hit the tab key, and that's for indenting your code and making it look a little more readable. We also have code hints, which I want to encourage you to leave checked. Code hints, we're going to find out a little bit later on, are going to be very, very helpful in just speeding up our code. Speeding up the typing in of our code and things like that. Now you can set the delay for code hints so that they show up right away by setting it at 0 seconds, or you can have a little bit of a delay. In case you're pretty familiar with ActionScript and you only need the code hints every now and then, you can set it so that it delays a little bit before it actually shows up. I'm going to go ahead and leave this at 0 seconds. The next thing we want to look at is the font, and this is simply the font of what you're typing in your Actions panel. Now obviously the font there doesn't make a big difference in your final published file, but it helps to have something that's readable, so when you're scanning through your code, you can easily read it and easily see what's going on there. Now the default font for the PC is Courier New. For the Mac, I believe it's Monaco. But we're going to change this to a nice readable font. We're going to change this to Verdana. And I'm going to bump up the size a little bit as well so that it's a little bit easier for you guys to read on the video. But I've set my font to Verdana at a size of 12. We're going to leave dynamic font mapping unchecked. And then we have a few different options down here that we pretty much want to leave on the defaults, unless you really know what you're doing. And then we also have some syntax colors here. We briefly mentioned in the last video that any keywords or any reserved words in ActionScript are shown in blue, and we see that here. Keywords and identifiers are shown in blue. If you want to change those, you're welcome to, but I'm going to go ahead and leave these as the default. Notice that if you decide to change all of these colors here and later on decide that you'd rather stick with the default, we have a button down here for resetting those defaults. So now if we click on OK, we see that we have a much more readable font here. And if we use a keyword like import, it changes to blue. If we decided we wanted to change that, we can go to Edit, Preferences, ActionScript, and we can change keywords to, let's say, red. If we wanted them to be bright red for some reason, we click on OK, and now import is in bright red. So that's easy to do. Let's go ahead and change that back. And that's really all I wanted to cover for the preferences for today. So let's go ahead and just get rid of that, and we'll move on with the next video. Thank you for watching.